And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the StarCraft Evolution League. Welcome back to a Biweekly tournament featuring StarCraft Evolution, a custom mod here for SC Evo. I'm of course just VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players and by the people in the chat as well. I do apologize for the start of the broadcast here. Some things are happening here IRL, so I do apologize, but we should be able to get back into things and catch up on the broadcast. Welcome back to some more StarCraft Evolution. It's been a while. It's been a while since we've covered some SC Evo content. Again, there has been a massive hiatus at the start of the year for events featuring this mod due to the arcade being broken, due to the Blizzard arcade kind of having some issues, of course. But recently they have been resolved, and now we have updates and support once again for some of these mods. Let's go. We are back, and we have our first series of the broadcast. Going to be jumping into the quarterfinals of the StarCraft Evolution League. Again, this is a bi-weekly tournament every 2 weeks, so we do feature an SC Evo event, and we do have some catching up to do. We'll be doing so throughout the course of the week. For events like StarCraft Evolution, Kung Fu Cup, War TV Monday, and Pegastar Cups as well. So we will be there. For now, though, we're going to be jumping into our first game of the broadcast. Going to be jumping into Sylphid, featuring ByuN and MindelVK. Let's go. Let us go. We just featured ByuN last night in a best of 9 show match against Classic in StarCraft Evolution, so I do highly recommend the VODs. It was an intense best of 9, it was back and forth somewhat as well. Able to get a better glimpse of TvP, and now we get some more TvP action here on Sylphid. As spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have the orange Protoss player representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MindelVK. And spawning in the top side, we have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. Let's go. Let us go. Welcome one and all. Also, welcome all to the chat. See, so Lensvide as well. With 110 streams, you're crazy. You're crazy, papi. Aye. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for the dedication, for tuning in as often as you do, as we are settling into our best of 3. Let's go. Let us go. Welcome to Sylphid. Sylphid is a 3-player spawn map. Sylphid does have 3 possible spawn locations: bottom left, bottom right, and top side as well. So this does allow for a little bit of RNG, a little bit of randomness when it comes to the spawn locations, when it comes to early game cheese and early game aggression, and we'll see how Mindel will approach this. Bearing in mind, this is a Brood War Protoss up against an SC2 Terran player. For those that are unaware with the mod specifically, this mod does bring together StarCraft 2 versus Brood War, and does pit them against each other, specifically in a best of 1 format. This mod is not balanced for Brood War versus Brood War whatsoever. It is only balanced for Brood War versus SC2. Bear that in mind. Once again, ByuN, I would say, is the best Terran player in StarCraft Evolution currently. I said this previously, but Cure has recently started playing and competing in StarCraft Evolution as well. So I still have a bit of a hard time placing Cure amongst the other top Terran players in SC Evo. Still have a hard time placing him. For now, though, I can confidently say that ByuN, he's the highest performing Terran player in SC Evo. He is favored to make it far, if not win, the entire tournament. One of the top favorites. Meanwhile, Mindel has been dedicating a lot of time to SC Evo as well. Mindel, of course, has been taking a bigger role when it comes to content creation, tournament organization, and streaming as well. A little bit of a step away from just purely competing, but Mindel has taken a bigger stance, a bigger role here when it comes to SC Evo, and does open up with a robo. This is quite common, going for a robo opener into a bay into Reaver drop. That is the go-to in almost every single matchup featuring Protoss, so we should be seeing Reaver drop. Meanwhile, we'll see how ByuN does open up himself, going for an economic start into the factory follow-up. So ranks expand into factory. With this, we can get into a 1-1-1, we can get into mine drop play. Early Cyclone play is advised. The reason why we often see early Cyclone is to help deter the shuttle. As Robo is finishing, should soon be seeing the bay. We are going into Dragoon range though. Okay, so Singularity, what's it, Singularity charge? There's the bay. Bay is thrown down, and again, that should be for the shuttle, for shuttle speed, and for said Reaver. Singularity charge, that's it, yeah. So here comes that shuttle. Behind this, there is a tech lab. Actually going for an add-on swap, so going to be delaying Cyclone production. Interesting. With this delayed production, we will be able to get into faster Banshee play, faster Raven play for harass across the map. This is a bit of a bolder move here, and we'll see what ByuN can get done. We'll see. Gamba? No Gamba. As here comes said Reaver. Reaver production has begun. Until then, we're both kind of just building up back at home. There is gravitic drive. Again, that is shuttle speed being researched as we speak, and soon we can move out across the map. Now, if you're a little bit unfamiliar with SC Evo, when it comes to the initial Reaver, the Reaver is a cross between a Disruptor and an Immortal, bearing in mind that for Brutal or Protoss, you don't really have the variety of Colossus and Disruptor and Immortal. You kind of need your Robo unit to take the role of a lot of units at once, just because, again, your units are a lot more limited here in a Brood War. So we do have the Reaver moving out. Again, does do quite a lot of burst damage, does also target units. Bearing in mind that the attack of the Reaver is also kind of limited to pathing, so you can actually micro against the Reaver shots, similar to against the Purification Nova of the Disruptor. Similar. As the Reaver does move out. At the same time, we did see that add-on swap earlier. Actually, no early Cyclone. Okay, bold move. Early tank production instead. We do have the Banshee moving out across the map. As the Reaver will hit the natural. Back at home, Dragoons are getting in position. Thankfully, Cloak is done. Is there any detection? Zero detection, no observatory. That's why Classic was going for the observatory opener. Yeah, Banshee hits and zero detection. Does the game just end? Does the game just end? The Reaver drop comes in, kills one SCV, no major damage, not yet. Oh, workers do stack, better connection, 4 SCVs go down, but at the same time the Banshee does wreak havoc and there is a zero detection. Observatory now does finish, observers on the way. If you recall, we were casting a best of 9 last night with Classic and ByuN, and Classic, every time he went for a robo opener, he went for a blind early observatory. It was very, very common to open observatory. So Classic did have access to detection every single game. Meanwhile, here we see limited detection, more workers going down. 10 SCVs did fall to the Reaver harass, which is nice damage to be honest, but at the same time, 9 probes also went down and also denied mining in the main and the natural. So I would say a better start for ByuN. Banshee is currently, still barely alive. Yeah, just barely. Shuttle gets caught out. Thankfully, thanks to shuttle speed, should get away. And it does pull out. Behind this, ByuN building up into Stim. Stim is on the way, more tank production as well, building up on 2 bases. Eventually going to be pushing on said 2 bases as well. We'll see if MindelVK can keep up with this. So far, is getting additional Reavers. And is going to bring the action here to ByuN instead. Okay. I mean, ByuN is ready. ByuN is got 3 tanks in position. He's got a siege line. MindelVK is moving out. And all of this will come down to the target firing, will come down to the unit micro and to the individual targeting as well. Mindel to 0 straight for the tanks. Where are we going? Where are we dropping? Yeah, Reavers, they drop in. And they make their way towards the tank line. They do target the first tank. The shuttle goes down. Yeah, shuttle goes down. Reavers as well. Alas, this was not worth it here for MindelVK, losing far too much. Losing both Reavers and the shuttle. So heavy losses there for Mindel. Losing 3 Dragoons as well. Again, ByuN, he was more than ready for an assault here at the natural. And Mindel gave him what he wanted. Ay. Behind this now switching into Zealot legs, but it does feel a little bit too little too late. As now ByuN can go for some counter drop play. It's moving out. And Dragoons not quite in position. Looks like the Banshee did just go down. Drops do sneak out. And Mindel has nothing in position to defend. He's got Dragoons here towards the natural, Dragoons out on the map, Dragoons in the center, but nothing in the main. And nothing in the main base. There's a safety battery to buy some time. Reaver pops out. ByuN, he does spot the Reaver. He respects it. It does respect it. Pulls away, nice control, avoids the Reaver shots. Speaking of, oh my god, the micro picks up, does save, and behind this 3rd CC, getting his 3rd CC up and running, building up into a greater economy, into a greater mid game. Mindel trying to catch out those medevacs, trying to be active on the map, but again, ByuN is chilling back at home, building up, expanding, and here comes the main push. To defend against this, we do have currently 1 Reaver, still only 1 Reaver. The army's distracted here in the main and outside of the main. ByuN does move out. Trying to break out his Medivacs. And we'll be able to. Oh no! Oh, the Medivacs! One Medivac goes down. Ooh, both Medivacs go down. Very nice control there from Mindel, making the best out of a bad situation. Does catch both full Medivacs. Does catch both. ByuN, we are moving in. I mean, did lose a massive chunk of his army, so MindelVK is somewhat holding his own, but once again, denied mining in the main base. Going for the Nexus, actually. A bit of a bold move out of ByuN and won't quite get it. It does pull away. His main army did back off. Observer does spot this. And the game will continue. Yeah, the game will progress. So building up back at home. Again, Mindel, he does have a lot of recovering to do. There are ways to recover when it comes to drop play, counterattacks, Zealot run-bys as well. The problem is that ByuN's staying at home, right? He's turtling up quite hard. We have sensor towers, missile turrets. We're just walling up, setting up for any kind of move out. Drop play once again, popping off, gets into the mineral line. Oof. And takes down 8 workers. And we just pick up. Ooh, one full Medivac goes down. Late reaction by ByuN. Does have a late reaction. Still worth it though. Yeah, still very much so worth it. Reaver drop into the main base. ByuN, how does it react? Does it react? Ooh. Medivacs go down once again. But he stims in. Yeah, he stims in. I mean, the Reavers are somewhat trading. But Mindel's out of position. Will be forced to cancel. Shuttle gets forced out of the main. Storm has now begun, and there's a chance for MindelVK to make a stand with Storm, but heavily reliant here on his spells on Storm, and again, not much of a chance that will happen here. Assuming that ByuN pushes soon. True. We'll see if Storm can finish. We'll see if it does finish up. Drop play continues. This time MindelVK is somewhat in position, does have 3 Dragoons here in the main. That might deter, maybe. There we go. We just boost in. Yeah, dives on the Dragoons. Takes down 1, 2, takes down all 3. We'll lose 1 Medivac in the process. But ByuN still trades well. Yeah, he trades well here. Picking up Zealots. Catching up the mineral line as well. Getting another 12 probe kills. Ay, ay, ay. 13 probes go down. And now here, I was going to say here comes the main army. We're still leaving all the tanks at home, but there we go. They're mass on siege. Finally, ByuN pushes. Now, I believe Storm will be ready for this. So Storm is going to finish up, and there's going to be a handful of High Templar. But again, ByuN has a lot of momentum throughout the course of this game. Just better economy, faster third, better trades. Even here, catching up more Dragoons. There's going to be 4 High Templar. Oh, we got some Reavers in the center. Let's who reacts first? Yeah, as ByuN is pushing. Does miss the Reavers, but tanks do siege. Yeah, tanks they siege up. That's a lot of tanks. Ooh, the shuttle is going to be denied. Yeah, shuttle is zoned away. The expansion will fall. And we're going for the base trade. I mean, it is the only way here for MindelVK. Like, he cannot engage with the main. Oh no! He cannot engage with the main army. Shuttle goes down. Reavers go down. GG gets called. And ByuN takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. ByuN will take a lead in the series, and we'll see how our players do adjust their approach coming into game 2. Again, Mindel just had a very shaky start. Unfortunately, did go for a robot opener, but delayed the observatory and had no detection. So even though the Reaver got some damage on across the map, the Banshee more than made up for it. More than made up for it there. for ByuN. And with that, ByuN does take a lead in the series, and we'll see if Mindel can bounce back and recover coming into game number 2. Let's go. Going to be loading into Ruby Rock. Here we go. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Brood War Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Orange Protoss player for Sidestorm Gaming. It is MindelVK. Here we go. So players are going to be opening up. Oh, yes. Rough start here for Mindel. Not like this. Not the worst start, but did misposition the gateway. Welcome one and all to the Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock is known for aggressive builds, and we're leaning more towards ByuN. Actually going CC first? Okay. Bold move. I was assuming we were going to be seeing a 3-axe opener, but no, CC first. Now, ByuN did embrace a lot of mech against Classic, a lot of mech in the previous TvP matchup, so we'll see if we embrace mech once again, or if we do go into a stim timing. With the earlier CC, there's a higher chance we might see mech. A much higher chance. Oh, no, never mind. So there we go. We have the first, we have the second rack. So it looks like we are going for a 3-rack stim timing, just off of a CC first. Now, this stim timing is going to be delayed, just because the racks is later, which means the academy is going to be later. I mean, the gases are later. I mean, everything is just later here for ByuN in favor of the faster economy. And Mindel will have more time to react, and at least gets a full scout. Gets a full scout of the main, is fully aware as to what's going on. For those who are curious, these 3-rack sim timings, they do hit very hard, and it's going to be a little bit more difficult here for Mindel to keep up with the aggression of ByuN, just because of this kind of the notoriety behind this build, I should say. This build has been adjusted and nerfed quite a bit over time. There's the academy, again, that's going to be for stim, that's going to be for the upgrades, that's going to be for the medics as well. We'll see if ByuN does go for the timing attack, or if he does play more passive and builds up into a 3rd CC instead. Meanwhile, Mindel, once again, going for the faster robo into the Reaver drop. Now, because of the opener, because Mindel saw the 111, I'm sorry, what? Because he saw the 3-racks, he knows that there's no factory, he knows that there's no starport, there's no threat of anything. Oh, actually, hold on, sorry, I'm getting mixed up a little bit. I was like, Reaver drop, it's an SC2 Protoss, my apologies. In my brain, I was like, oh, now he knows that there's no threat of a Banshee, so we can go Reavers freely, but no, this is a standard SC2 opener, so we might be seeing a Colossus instead. If you recall, a couple of years ago, back when 3-racks were in the meta, Colossus defenses were a lot more common, but if you recall, the 3-rack stim timing hit later in StarCraft 2, hits earlier here in StarCraft Evolution. So if the goal here is to wait for a Colossus, I don't think we can. I feel like even with safety immortals, it's going to be a clutch hold here, but we should be seeing an early immortal. We should not wait for a Colossus just because that's going to be too late. I mean, the Bio army is already building up. Oh, late reaction, no, late reaction. We'll lose a Stalker. 1 Stalker goes down. There's 1 Stalker right now. That's the army. This is the army for MindelVK. 1 Stalker. We have a 2nd Stalker morphing in as we speak. Warp Gate is still not yet done. Here comes ByuN. And again, we didn't get a safety immortal. Like, we can't just wait for the Colossus like this. Oh, boy. Yeah, ByuN's moving out. Double scan. Colossus production has begun. But ByuN will hit first. Now, bearing in mind there's going to be, wait, 1? Sorry, we got 2. 2 Stalkers to defend, battery as well. Stim is now done. Yeah, that's it. Okay, Stim's forward. Chasing down the Stalkers, and can he get on top of the Robo? Yeah, gets 1, and gets 2. The Robo is exposed. First going for the Stalkers. The Colossus will pop. Okay, will pop out. But how many losses? Oh no, it's gonna be closed. He goes to the pylon. The pylon goes down. Depowers the Robo. Critical damage here. Medic is going to be targeted. Nice kiting here by ByuN, and ByuN, he will just overwhelm the army, takes down the final Stalker, takes down the economy, and can go for the pylon. GG gets called. ByuN, he will claim the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Even going CC first, his sim timing is brutal. And again, MindelVK, he was autopiloting a little bit. When it comes to the Robo into Bay into Colossus, this is the standard go-to, or this was the standard go-to build in StarCraft 2 against the StarCraft 2 sim timing, but in SC2 it does hit later because of all the add-ons, because of all the upgrades, does hit a little bit later. Here, it's an earlier timing, so to wait for the Colossus like that is very greedy. It's very, very greedy. I think you might be able to get away, nah, not even. I was gonna say you might be able to get away with it if you went for an early sentry, so Stalker sentry instead, but even then, like even with force fields, like I don't know if you can really slow this down too much. Maybe you can get away with it with a force field at the natural, but again, very greedy defense here from Mindel. He gets punished, and ByuN does advance on. So GG, well played. ByuN will advance on into the next round, and we'll see who his opponent is going to be as he does advance on to the semi-finals. Meanwhile, we do have our next matchup. It is going to be a ZVP here between 3 Point and Def Mars. Let's go.